Seeds of Wisdom RV and Economic Updates Saturday morning, November 16, 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Good morning. Dinar recaps. BRICS meeting with Saudi Arabia. Major discussion points unveiled. Despite the ongoing confusion regarding the country's position within the economic alliance, the BRICS bloc and Saudi Arabia have met, with major points of discussion being unveiled. The nation had previously accepted an invitation to be among its first expanded members. However, that proved not to be the case, with major leadership not even attending the alliance's 2024 summit. However, the two sides are still reportedly engaged in positive talks. Specifically, they have met to confront the potential for growing cooperation on a global scale. The move could have major ramifications for the coming year. Moreover, it could be a turning point that re-establishes Riyadh as a key BRICS ally. Saudi Arabia and BRICS hold key discussion. Here's what was said. The BRICS bloc has grown massively over the last year. Indeed, it had enacted a groundbreaking expansion in 2023, where 4 nations joined the collective. Specifically, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia became the first expansion countries since 2001. Yet, one nation that had accepted, but did not join the bloc was Saudi Arabia. Indeed, the country was poised to be one of the most important additions to the economic alliance. Its dominance in the oil sector was expected to only strengthen the group's position. However, the country would end up rejecting a full position within the bloc. That hasn't stopped the two sides from engaging in efforts to strengthen their relations. Indeed, BRICS has met with Saudi Arabia in recent discussions that sought to fortify their relationship. Specifically, reports how Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, recently talked. According to reports, the two sides discussed the success of the bloc's 2024 summit. Moreover, they affirmed the importance of continued coordination between the two states, within economic collaborations. Finally, they both spoke highly of the ongoing trajectory of their nations' partnerships. However, they also highlighted the importance of their readiness to further strengthen cooperation in political, trade, economic, and humanitarian spheres. The bloc has recently shifted its focus amid an ever-changing geopolitical landscape. With Donald Trump's election taking place this month, the group has said they will no longer ditch the US dollar. Perhaps the absence of Western opposition makes continued partnership with Saudi Arabia more appealing to the Middle Eastern powerhouse. UK government confirms digital gilts pilot. What's the roadmap? The UK's Treasury has confirmed plans to run a pilot for the issuance of digital gilts, UK government bonds, following leaked news earlier this week. The previous Conservative government had also planned to organise a pilot. It's seen as an important step for UK capital markets, particularly as the UK has launched a digital securities sandbox for DLT and tokenization pilots. The UK could benefit more than other jurisdictions. One of the killer apps for blockchain in capital markets is repurchase agreements or repos, which involve exchanging cash for gilts. This allows banks and institutions to either lend excess liquidity or borrow it if they are short. Conventional repos involve delayed securities settlement, which means repo duration is typically overnight. By contrast, blockchain supports instant settlement, enabling intraday repo. The ability to manage liquidity for hours at a time is very attractive to banks and other institutions. Intraday repo is already happening by tokenizing existing treasuries in the United States. A native digital gilt would make the process far easier. On top of that, the UK has Finality, a tokenized cash settlement network backed by an omnibus account at the Bank of England. Finality is backed by more than 20 institutions. Hence, with a digital gilt, the UK will have both a digital security and cash on chain. With the previous government floating the idea, industry trade body UK Finance collaborated with EY to draft a digital gilt roadmap. It submitted it to the government in April, but published it today. A digital gilt roadmap. It suggests 2 alternative approaches. One is more evolutionary, whereas the other is a big bang path. In the multi-staged approach, it suggests issuing a short-dated digital treasury bill within the first 6 months with only a limited number of market participants. In the second phase within the first year, a medium-term digital gilt would have more functionality. For example, it would involve more market makers and a wider group of investors. Most importantly, it would be integrated with the existing off-chain secondary market, with the gilts eligible as collateral for repo. These are essential steps to ensure liquidity. The third phase within 18 months would involve another issuance with both the trading of gilts and repo performed on-chain. The Big Bang approach would essentially skip the first two steps and happen in a more compressed time frame. The UK finance paper outlines the pros and cons of each path. A major hurdle could be the legal and regulatory work needed to support digital gilts being used as collateral for repo and other purposes. Plus, there's the need to maintain a sufficient level of liquidity. Switzerland is one of the most advanced jurisdictions in this area. Its central bank considers using digital treasury bills for money market operations as premature, given the immaturity of the DLT sector. However, Switzerland was the first mover in launching a digital securities exchange, so progress unsurprisingly has been slow going. By contrast, there's been strong interest and engagement in the ECB's wholesale DLT settlement trials, with market participants hoping the trials won't end. UK Finance believes that with the digital gilt program, the UK can lay the groundwork for a robust and innovative digital capital market ecosystem, bolstering its position as a global leader in financial technology and digital finance. Did you miss the Friday night constitutional call last night? You can catch it on our YouTube channel. Learn the steps to change your status to return your power and rights as a citizen of the state. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com